My guest today is Stelio Nathanael, the owner, proprietor, brains behind a new concept store that is gathering in momentum, gathering in popularity. Stelio, what does Chesa Nyama mean?
Chesa Nyama is a local South African word, well-known word called braai meat. So to braai, open flame, and that's your Chisa, and your Nyama is your famous South African meat word.
What made you come up with the concept? Because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions around franchisees. I can never get the right word, whether you're a franchisor or a franchisee. But I want to ask you a lot of questions about how you determine what a successful chain is and how you know when it's right time to expand, which you're doing, obviously.
Look, my initial thoughts about creating a brand that we as South Africans, we love our meat, we love our braais, and that's throughout all South Africans, 45, 50 million of us. And that's what we do on weekends. And we thought, you know what, let me make a good brand that we can bring the braai meat into our workplaces. And my vision initially was creating a fast food store that had the look and the feel of being in the townships, enjoying chilling with my friends, our business associates, having a good braai. And that was the vision that I had with the brand.
You say braai. I mean, you're against steer, you're against spur, you're against hussars. I don't know how many different kinds of American type. I say American because they take their, they always had this cowboy type feel. Why was there room for another one? How did you know there was room for another one?
I think, David, as you say, the spur, the American feel of the others, we South African. We want our braai concept. We want something that we can take our traditional cuts, our brisket, our chuck, our good peri-peri marinated chickens, marinated traditional way, our good meat spices, and offer that to the public. And that's where I came up with that fast food braai concept. We had our burger market, we got our chicken market, but a fast food braai market never existed in the public place, and I thought the consumers want it.
So what do you do? What do you do to say, I've got this concept, let me try it out? Where did you try this out? And how many years ago was this?
3 years ago, I started with a concept in Hillbrow. And from there, our second store we opened at food court in Wits, at the Wits food court. And the public, the students enjoyed it so much. We obviously, what my initial concept was, yes, offering a good braai concept, but at a value for money. So value for all South Africans, and I had to set up a structure where we had a central kitchen that I avoided middlemen so that we can offer that franchisee and that public, a consumer, a good value for money product.
The first couple of stores were, I would assume, they're yours.
Yeah, the Hillbrow store and the Wits store was mine. Yeah.
So what makes a decision, I'm going to now put this out to franchise? You know, because you now put your brand in the hands of another person.
It was hard to offer this brand. It was something when you got passion and you really want to grow this baby that you've got, and to offer it to a franchisee. Obviously, first thing was the structure. We needed the structure. I needed to have that central kitchen, like I said. I needed to get the head office structure where we could offer the training facilities to offer the franchisee that real operational training, that they feel the passion, they understand the knowledge of how to run a successful fast food brand. And those facilities, and that's how I said, you know what, having a tight control, offering the right support to your franchisees. I went a bit extra and offered the franchisee the financial support. In other words, we've got an outsourced company that I signed up with, that every single franchisee is compulsory to be signed up with them, where they will be their right-hand person. So if a franchisee comes from an IT background and doesn't come from a food background, we can give them the support about running your business financially stable, where they'll give you on a weekly basis, they'll give them a good GP report. They'll offer them a food cost. Their food cost is high, there's losses, there's look at that part of your business, concentrate on that, and on a weekly basis, financially, they give them that support. And we as head office offer them brand support, the brand marketing, and obviously any other operational support that they want. And in that way, I think together they would be with us for 5 years throughout the franchise agreement as partners and not just as, let me sell you the franchise and good luck to you.
So how many stores have you got at the moment?
Chesa Nyama stores, we've just hit over 300 stores.
In 2 years?
In 3 years.
3 years. So how do you manage it? I mean, how, honestly, from a business point of view, I mean, that's astronomical expansion. How do you personally make sure that everything stays on the course that you've just explained?
Look, the central kitchen, the distribution center that we've got.
Where is that? Where
is Stelio and Centurion.
Okay.
We've got the whole infrastructure there where our butcheries are there, our chicken productions are there, our sauce plant is there. So everything, all our IP sits there and it gets distributed from that central place throughout the country. So we avoid middlemen, we avoid any increases on meat products, and if we do any instant increase in prices, maybe it's once a year, but we'll adjust our menus as well to our franchisees as well. But we try and keep that value there for the consumer and for our franchisees.
How do you decide where to place Chesa Nyama? How do you... Does a franchise person come to you, franchisee come to you, potential one come to you and say, I want to open up one, or do you look for locations and say, listen, let's find someone to take over the store?
Franchisees do offer certain locations where we've got to see the viability of a certain place. We've got a lot of landlords that have, and in middle income malls to upper income malls, that understand now that Chesa Nyama has become a brand that can compete with your McDonald's and your KFCs in a food court of a high traffic mall, and it's bringing the people. People love the food and the culture behind it. So yeah, we'll look at a store very closely. In the beginning, I thought, let me go and put the Chesa Nyamas where a taxi rank is, where the high volume traffic is, but it's a brand for everyone. So yeah.
Can this go outside of South Africa? Not that you may be thinking of it. I mean, is it an African brand? Is it a
across the country, across the borders? We have opened in Namibia. We've opened in Zambia. We've opened in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, Swaziland, Mozambique. We opened in December. And those stores are achieving huge turnovers. And we're looking at, we're negotiating with a couple of overseas investors, taking it into international markets.
Chesa Nyama.
The Chesa Nyama, the brand. Yeah, first thing we've got to teach them to say the word Chesa Nyama. And then, but I think it's more of a restaurant dine-in concept, giving that African feel and what we as South Africa, what we're about. Yeah, offering that great South African brand to those people.
So where did you start in fast foods, or did you start in?
Fast foods, I started in restaurants from the time I was 16 years old in Cyprus.
Is that from in Cyprus?
In the island of Cyprus. I started as a waiter.
Were you born in Cyprus?
I was born in South Africa, but I went finished my schooling, my standard 8 to matric in Cyprus. And then during those years I was a waiter and worked in a restaurant on the beachfront, put in all the hours from 6 in the morning till 2 in the morning. Obviously minimal staff, 4 people in the whole restaurant serving 140 people. But we were barmen, we were waiters, we were grillers, we were chefs, we were everything, and that's where my passion started. And coming back to South Africa in my early 20s, I joined the Squire's Loft Steakhouse Group.
Of course, yeah.
And that was a great brand. It was, to me, the best steakhouse.
Are they still going, Squire's Loft, or?
I haven't heard much lately about them. They were in the Sun International casinos. I'm not sure lately. I don't know what's happened to them. But it was, to me, it was a great brand. Good operations, good training behind it, good motivations behind it, and the consumer loved the taste of the product. And from there, I thought in 2008, I wanted to start a fish brand, and that's when I thought, what did our parents do when they came to South Africa, opening fish and chip shops? I'm sure there were recession times, those were hard times for them. And those turned into cafes, and from cafes to supermarkets, and they grew from there. And I thought, I love the fish brand. I thought, let me get a good quality hake, offer that good quality white flaky hake to the South African market, wherever it is, be it in a township, be it in a high LSM market. And I started the fish and chip company, and that within 2.5 years, we opened just over 200 stores.
You sold that to Taste?
And we sold that to Taste Holdings.
A number of those restaurants are being closed. Why? Why do you think?
I think the main reason from that is we need owner-operators.
Okay.
And any business, it's a cash business, it's a service-oriented business. Just the example we take from our parents coming in the early days, they were hands-on. They even brought their beds into the back kitchens, and they used to sleep there. And I think any business, especially in the food game, you need to be owner-operated. And I think that's where the problem is with a lot of the fast food brands that don't make it. Not fast food brands as in fast food stores, but to me, Fish and Chip Company, there's nothing wrong with that brand. It's a good brand. Taste Holdings is a good, they're good people in the food concept. They bring in international brands into the market. And I think it's just that we need owner-operators. We need to be passionate, and I think choose your franchisee. And on the franchisee side, invest your money, whatever it costs, into something that you got passion for. And that's going to lead to a successful business.
Stelio, we're going to have to wrap up now. It's a very short show, but I must say there's a wonderful feel in this restaurant. It feels like Africa, and I can understand why it's going to be successful. Our only hope is that you grow it to a point where you join Taste, you join famous brands, you join Spur on the JSE.